Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Husky Mag. It's our first show of the year, and tonight we got volleyball.
And find out how the men's and women's golf team did. Husky Mag starts right now.
Let's take it to the field. I come through like the freight train, about to push the line back. Only see the gold line, don't matter if your line stack. Because I'm a soldier, you can see my face paint. Know that I'ma get mine by knowing that the rest can't. Y'all looking scared, man, better call a timeout. I can see your eyes and reach your mind in the same look. Every play you call, you think we read not the same book. As the time tick down in the game, I'm a winner, y'all cliches sounding the same. Come on, let's get it on. We ready for 'em, let's get it on. We ready for 'em, let's get it on. We ready for 'em, let's get it on.
Welcome to Husky Mag. Just like football, Husky Mag is back. I'm Jeremy Lagos, and alongside me is Madison Golden.
Yeah, we're excited to be back for our very first episode of Husky Mag for the year. How are you feeling?
I feel great. All summer, all I look forward to is just Husky Mag. It's all I can dream about, so I'm glad that we're finally back.
Me too, and all the fall sports are back too, so it's even better.
Right, and one of those fall sports is football. And the Cardinal and Black came back home with huge momentum coming off their domination of the University of Minnesota Crookston. This game would feature two strong defenses, with the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, owners of the best defense in the nation, giving them only 5 points per game, and that defense was the name of the game to begin the ball game. At least to start, the Huskies tossing an interception on their opening drive of the game before the two teams traded punts. And then it was all Bulldogs from there, as they would go on to roll over the Huskies 44-14. It was not a very good showing for the Husky offense.
Not at all, and I mean, they started off not on the board for the first two quarters, or the first...
It took them a while to get going, and you could just tell from the start it wasn't going to be a good day for them. Lawhorn was a little shaky, and it just never really got put together.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that's been a common theme so far this season, unfortunately. And the SCSU football team will look to improve their record to 3-1 on the season, as they will head to Northern State University this Saturday for another battle within the NSIC. Last season, the Huskies fell short by a touchdown against the Wolves, but as far as this season goes, the team seems to be evenly matched, and the Cardinal and Black are 1-0 on the road this season, and Northern State currently sits with a 1-2 overall record so far, and they have faced Bemidji, Minot State, and MSU Moorhead. So hopefully that can be a little bit more of an even matchup for the Huskies. Maybe not a blowout, but a closer game would
hopefully get some offense going early, get the momentum going, and then just see where the defense can take them. Because the defense is really good,
right,
but when the offense can't sustain a drive and the defense is always on the field, that's kind of where things collapsed against Duluth. So.
And speaking of the Husky offense, again, they struggled. What have you seen out of Dwayne Lawhorn so far, and what do you think he can kind of improve on and continue, hopefully, to get stronger throughout the season?
Well, the one thing we got to say is he is coming off that injury, but he certainly has struggled a lot. He has a cannon for an arm, and that kind of seems to be the issue, as he's just tossing balls over receivers. He's not getting a lot of loft under the ball, so a lot of those downfield throws that they like to try to make just aren't connecting, and you can see it there. The offense, only 105 passing yards against Duluth after coming off a tremendous game, putting up that 44 points. The rushing ground, too, is kind of where the Huskies get to go, and if they can get the ground game going, they can build off the play-action pass, and that's how they get those downfield throws.
And it seems like he's been overthrowing a lot, too. We saw it a lot in the game against UMary, where they were 13-0 heading in and nearly lost to them.
Yeah, it would have been a tough way to lose to the first time ever, and the team, they came in, shoved the flag right at midfield. That kind of got tensions going early, and then
they managed to turn it around.
Yeah, at the end there, got that last touchdown after the offense, like we said, it wasn't really going. So hopefully we can see more of that offense we saw in the second game going forward versus the other two games.
Absolutely.
And joining us now in studio is football insider Leigh Fender. How you doing, Leigh?
I'm excited, especially to talk about football, because like you, I don't know if I've been doing anything with my life all summer, and I've just been bored wondering. And then when football's finally back, it has meaning to me, especially Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays and Mondays. I can finally do something with my life.
Exactly. The other days of the week, I don't really know what I'm doing, but when we have football, everything is good in the world.
Absolutely. Well, with St. Cloud State Huskies, obviously, there's two big questions for me coming in this year. One was last year they had a great start, but then they did not end the way they wanted. They dropped the last 3 games. They were 6-0, which was a really good record, but then they dropped some games where they thought were teams that they should have played really well against, but I think they played down to the competition. And then, so based on that coming into this year was to see how much they learned from it, how much they could grow from it, and come together and mature from it going into this 2018 season. And obviously the biggest question that you guys addressed earlier was Dwayne Lawhorn. How is he going to do? Because he had that shoulder surgery coming in late December into January. And obviously that was the number one question coming into the 28th season. How would he do? Would he handle throwing the long balls? Would he be having the pressure of throwing consistently almost 30-plus or even 50 balls per game on the passing game? And see how he did. The first game going against UMary, it was interesting because it looked really shaky in the first one. Obviously, you got that week 1 rust, but there was a lot of passes where he overthrew his receivers when they were sitting in the zones wide open, and he underthrew them. And then it's a little bit tail end because some of those receivers, it hit him in the hands. But, I mean, for a quarterback, he can't do any better than that. But he did show a little bit of the rust, and it was a little bit concerning going into the first half against the UMary team, which they've showed dominance. But later on, they were able to pull his weight a little bit better and able to come back from a victory. And then later on in the season, he had a great week 2 game, outstanding, just throwing darts everywhere. And then again, we saw that little relapse again against the Minnesota Duluth. And that was against a tougher team, though, but you got to step up your game against those tougher teams.
And that's kind of the thing. Coming off that shoulder surgery, obviously, that was going to be a question mark. Do you think for the rest of the year, are we going to see that offense that's kind of struggled to start the year, or are we going to see that offense that we saw against Crookston where we put up 44 points?
Well, I would certainly hope that they come back with Crookston, but it all depends on how this team is going to gel together, how they're going to learn from it, and that they can get that step forward to kind of fix those mistakes and come together and work as one cohesive unit. Because this team, it seems like they're either going to show up in the second half team or they don't show up at all in the first half, and that's really mostly on a team aspect. You can put the analytics and numbers and see if they could put it together, and they do have the talent, but it's just putting it all together. And if they do, they can be one of those top teams that could make that kind of deep run in the NSIC.
And one thing that the Huskies like to do is use their run game to kind of set up the pass. What have you seen from the run game to start the year and how they've fed off from each other?
It's kind of been very interesting throughout the year because once they get that running game, because Evans and Lewis, they are full powerhouse runners that they love to run, and they are very good at it. They love the style of running and head down and punching you in the mouth. The other one is more crafty in his moves and doing his footwork, and that's really a key part of this offense because that can lay off that pressure of Lawhorn coming off his shoulder surgery. And if you get these guys going, I mean, that's going to make everything click more. Either go smooth, and you can pretty much get the defense cheating, and from there, you can use that play action that's going to really do well. You get that Solberger pass that goes down on this pretty much a 15-yard pass, and that makes the defense respect that, and then you got them on the heels. You got them what you want for an offense, and so far, it seems like they either go one-dimensional on some games, and it burns them almost with UMary and then Duluth, or if you get against Crookston where they had everything clicking, and that's what you want pretty much for an offense, and you have the total power with both these running backs and the passing-wise where you can do it all. And, of course, with that running game, what's going to be interesting is this year what's coming in, what we talked about previously, was this offensive line. I mean, this is the youngest that they've had. They don't have any seniors. They lost a lot of seniors last year, and for this one, that's maybe another reason why the running game might be not as smooth as they want it to, but they're going to have to build as a cohesive group. They got to be together, work on the footwork schemes. I think that'll get better as the year goes along with these younger guys because it's a big task. Asking a bunch of sophomores, redshirt freshmen, and freshmen to be starting against seniors or even fifth-year senior defensive linemen that know what they do.
Those upperclassmen, they've been around the block, so they know the tricks of the trade a little bit.
Absolutely. So for them, they're going to have to grow a lot, and it's just pretty much being thrown in a situation where they got to mature easily. And it's going to be interesting to see, though, but I think later on the back of the season, it's going to be a positive. They all do their exact executions, and that's going to make the running game easier, which therefore will make it not too much pressure on Lawhorn with the passing in it, and it's just going to make everything flow easily, and you're going to go see the good old Huskies football.
Right, and like you've touched on, they have the skill position to do it. John Solberg on the outside, one of the best duo threats in the league when you go down the field. Their combination of size and speed, their ability to break tackles, the running backs, and the Lawhorn and the offensive line, we'll see. They're trying to get together. Lawhorn took them out to Chipotle last week before the Duluth game, trying to get his guys going. So speaking forward, this next game, what are you looking for this Huskies team to do to get back in the win column?
I want them to assert dominance right away. You got to come ready off the play. It seems like a couple of games are a little bit slow, and that's not what you want to do, because with some teams, if you come out slow, you're just playing down to their level, and I know they are a lot talented and even more physical power than them. So I want them coming out right off the gate, punch them in the mouth, whether it's defense. You can set the tempo right away, get a 3 and out quick, because the defense has been there all year, but the offense as well has to have that same mentality, come out quick, run the ball really well, get the passing going. And I know other things later down the road, there's got to be mentally toughness on third downs, both offense and defensively, because last week offensively, they were 2 of 12 on third downs, and that's not really effective.
You can't really win many games if you're not converting your third
No,
downs.
and that's keeping your defense on the field, and I think that's what was a bigger thing last week, was the defense was out there too long, and they get tired out and burned out easily, because you almost saw that week 1, but they were able to hold their ground, and I think their defense will do their part, but it's just capable of the offense. If they can do their job, get some big key first downs, be efficient in the red zone, get some points. I know they want touchdowns right away, but as long as you can come away with some points, whether it's in the red zone, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, that's going to better keep your defense off, get them rested, and then they'll come up big like they have so far the first couple of games when they make some key stops. So that's what I'm looking forward to this coming week, the bounce back to the Huskies get the W.
Starting off quick is going to be the focal point, because they've started slow their first 3 games. They're able to turn it around. The first couple, last game not so much, but hopefully they'll be able to start quicker this weekend. And thanks, Leif.
problem.
Get this man a cookie.
Hey.
And coming up next, find out if the volleyball team was able to keep up their hot streak and which women's hockey players will be back for another season with SESU. Husky Mag will be right back.
Are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
The St. Cloud State volleyball team has been off to one of their hottest starts within the last 5 years. Last Tuesday, SESU took on the University of Minnesota Duluth, a team ranked 6th overall in Division II volleyball, but the unranked St. Cloud State really came into this one at the top of their game. Lindsay Rachel led SESU with 17 kills, along with Maddie Torvey's 37 assists, and of course Clara Krenz with the 15 digs. St. Cloud State took Minnesota Duluth 3-0 in that match.
And it was more of the same for St. Cloud on Friday after their historic upset against the University of Minnesota Duluth on Tuesday. The Huskies continued their utter dominance of the NSIC, winning in straight sets for the second match in a row, making that 8 straight sets. The Cardinal and Black had their 4th straight victory, handily taking care of the University of Mary, and once again, it was Lindsay Rachel standing tall, piling up a career-high 12 kills and notching 20 digs. Can you dig it? The Huskies sure could, as they continued their road trip, heading full steam toward Minot State.
This past Saturday, they were also in action, but this time on the road against Minot State, and they look to extend their win streak to 5 games. And with the help of Lindsay Rachel once again, they were able to keep up their offensive power on the court as she finished the night with 19 kills and 13 digs. And her teammate Maddie Torvey continued to rack up the assists with 53. The Cardinal in Black would take this one 3-1, and Lindsay Rachel earned NSIC honors, and that would be the first time that someone has received NSIC honors since Chad Bragelman has been the head SCSU volleyball coach.
And when you're as good as this volleyball team has been, you're going to have a few standout players to start the year. And obviously, tops off to start is Lindsay Rachel. She has been killing it, the reigning NSIC Offensive Player of the Week. Rachel has had her best week to date with St. Cloud, leading the team with 48 kills, averaging nearly 5%. She's also been doing her best Sylvia Fowles impression, tallying back-to-back double-doubles against the Marauders and Beavers. Also, Abby Templin has been impressive and is second on the team, averaging over 2.5 kills per set. And Claire Krenz has been dominating on the defensive anchor for the team, averaging nearly 5 digs a set, frustrating opponents all season long.
Yeah, they have quite the offensive team right now. They're on a pretty hot streak, and it's their best start in the last 5 seasons, is what Coach Chad Bragelman just told us, and that's pretty incredible for them. 9-2. Yeah,
last year they had this hot start, but kind of started to fall off. We haven't seen that this year. So far, they're continuing to just hit the ground running, and they're not letting up.
And knocking off a top team like Duluth, you can't ask for a better.
That's huge for the program.
And 3-0 too. They didn't even have to go push it to 5 sets.
No sweat.
The volleyball team will next be in action on Friday against conference rival Northern State. That game is set for 6 p.m. at Hollenbeck Hall. And believe it or not, hockey season is right around the corner, both men's and women's. Women's, of course, being first. And we have a lot to look forward to for St. Cloud State Huskies. We have quite a few returners.
A lot of good players coming back. It's they only lost 3 seniors, so a lot of the talent they had going into last year, they retained for this year, and they should only be better. So.
Right, and you look at some of the seniors that they have this year. Hannah Patrikas, Julia Tilke is back, Laura Klug, who's not a senior, but she really stepped up offensively as an underclassman. And then you look at who's in between the pipes. You can't beat Janine Alder.
2 of the best goalies that St. Cloud has ever had in the same building at the same time. It's incredible. Emma Paluzny and Janine Alder are amazing goalies. They're on set to be like the number 1 and 2 goalies St. Cloud State has ever had. And when they're in between the pipes for St. Cloud, they always give you a chance, no matter who you're going against. And in a conference like the WCHA, when 4 of the top 10 teams in the nation are in our conference, you know, night in, night out, it's going to be tough. But those goalies can stand on their heads and make any game a close one.
Right, and St. Cloud State, even last season, like you said, with those women in between the pipes, were able to hold it close against those top teams like Ohio State, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even able to beat and tie them throughout the season. So, like you said, reliable goaltenders in Paluzny and Alder, you can't really ask for anything better.
And another year in that offense that should be able to gel. They'll score more goals, and that obviously is how you win games. So.
Yep. Coach Eric Root said it himself today. He's looking forward to seeing the upward climb, and they're only going to continue to grow from here.
Yeah. Exciting season coming up.
Coming up after the break, find out how the soccer team did on the road.
And see where the men's and women's golf teams ended up on the green. Coming up next.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
UTVS and Huskies go great together. Just like UTVS and its award-winning sports coverage. Tune into the very best coverage of Husky Athletics on Charter Channels 21 and 180. Also on the St. Cloud State Athletics Channel 823. And of course, streaming online at utvs.com. Don't miss a second of the action.
Family fun for all ages. Powder Ridge Winter Recreation Area. Enjoy skiing, snowboarding, snow tubing just minutes south of St. Cloud. They provide rental equipment, lessons, 2 food service areas, and lounge. Check out their website at powderridge.com.
You act like you've never seen someone do this before.
Because I haven't.
Really? I've been doing this for a while. Saves me a ton of money.
But we share this milk.
Then we're both saving money.
All right, let's jump straight into it. Heading into their second match of the NSIC portion of the schedule, St. Cloud was looking to continue their hot start against Bemidji State University. That hot start cooled off quite quickly, however, as the Beavers opened up with 3 straight goals, including 2 from Rachel Norton. And in the second half, it was too little, too late, as Maria Witt was able to connect on 2 penalty kicks, falling to the Beavers to 3-2. The Huskies dropped to 1-3-1 and 1-1 in NSIC play, but St. Cloud will be looking to turn things right back around in the right direction with a date with the University of Minnesota Crookston.
And they took on Crookston on the field at Crookston on Sunday. Not a whole lot happened in the first half of this one, but shots on goal were heavily in favor of SCSU. Shots in the first half were 13-1, and it seemed that SCSU really took command on offense, but nothing would come of that until the second half when Claire Shea scored with a shot from the corner, taking the lead 1-0, and that would actually be the final score of this one, with the final shots being in favor of the Huskies, 22-1. Definitely a dominant win there over Crookston.
Yeah, quite the performance they got.
Too bad they couldn't have gotten more than 1 goal. You know, you would think with 22 shots, but sometimes, you know, goaltending is key.
Yeah, goaltending is key. And up next for the Huskies is the Concordia of St. Paul, coming out of St. Paul. And St. Cloud is 2-1 in the NSIC this year. And the Golden Bears, however, come in with an unblemished 5-0 record, taking care of both of their NSIC opponents, blanking Winona State 1-0 Sunday in St. Paul, and both teams come into the game struggling to score, with neither being able to top 2 goals in a game this season yet. Look for both defenses to stay on top and this one, as St. Cloud will look to keep their home field advantage alive, winning their only home game of the season so far against Duluth last week. Come support the Huskies at 1 p.m. this Friday at Husky Stadium.
Yep, so hopefully they can push their home record to 2-0. That would be awesome for them. It always seems to be this way for the soccer team. They seem to kind of start out even and not, you know.
Takes a little bit to gel.
Right.
Hopefully they can get that offense going, score some goals. We haven't seen a lot of that yet, but they have some playmakers. They should be able to score more than they are, and I think they're confident they'll be able to put some in the back of the net.
Yeah, we haven't really heard Maria Cass so far this season. So once she gets going, you really can't shut her down. No. So hopefully she can get going pretty soon. But we'll switch things over to the green as the St. Cloud State's men's golf team headed to the Kings Walk Invite in Grand Forks, North Dakota. The Huskies finished second overall, only 4 shots behind the Minot State Beavers. And the Cardinal and Black were led by senior Troy Reinanen, a familiar name for SCSU golf fans, who finished second on the individual leaderboard, only 1 shot behind the lead. 2 other members of the Huskies finished within the top 10, with Riley Duncanson at 5th and Reagan Steen at 10th.
And up next for the Husky boys is the Twin Cities Classic this Saturday through Monday in the Twin Cities. There are various locations that the golfers will be teeing off at, and the Huskies will look to continue their hot start with another top performance after that second place finish in the last tournament.
And the women's golf team was also in action, but they will next take on Southwest Minnesota State University at the Southwest Minnesota State University Invite, and it will take place on September 21st and go through the 23rd. The women's team looked to place within the top 3 for the second time this season.
Coming up next, our favorite part of the show, Blizzard's Best. Can't wait.
We'll be right back.
Who wants to hear a story?
Once upon a time, there were 3 Billy Goats.
The tiniest Billy Goat Grunt.
The biggest Billy Goat Grunt.
Roared the troll.
Only troll.
Eyes as big as saucers.
And the Billy Goat was so heavy that the bridge
Way up was a bridge they had to cross. And under why, thank you.
Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news.
There. Heard about the Scarecrow who won an award? He was outstanding in his field.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
As soon as you play, I'm playing. I'm saying my first drum, second's your first beat. I'm saying first, you 2 feet, then we might stand up. Like first you get your hands, then I get your hands up. My sound, your throat, my dance, your feet. You hear my no heartbeat. The metronome in your chest keeps you in time till there's no time. So you sing till you got no breath, and whoever's next dances to the song you've left. Music creates movements, inspire movements. Where I am, you've been. There was you, then there was music. Music.
Be sure to follow Husky Mag on Twitter at UTVS_Husky Mag for all your Husky sports updates.
And up next is our leader of the pack for the Huskies, and honestly, who else would it even be? Lindsay Rachel was on fire. She had 19 kills and 13 digs and 1 ace on Saturday, earning an NSIC Player of the Week. And she's only a freshman, so it can imagine how good she is now. She's
right.
Player of the Year, maybe.
Yeah,
who knows?
the whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's averaging what did it say? 17?
Yeah, she's
kills per game.
Offensive monster.
Yeah, she's kind of unstoppable. So lucky to have her as only a freshman, and she's already making this much of an impact on their team.
Yeah, 4 years of her. Watch out.
And we'll jump into Blizzard's best right now.
And our number 3 play of the week, we hit the gridiron as Dwayne Lawhorn steps up into the pocket and fires right and finds wide receiver Nathan Gizma for the touchdown. As we take another look there, some pressure off the edge, he steps up into the pocket and fires right. And nice job by Gizma to catch that.
And taking a look at number 2, this one would be the game winner against the 6th-ranked Bulldogs. And this would be the first time in 23 years that SCSU would defeat a top 10 team.
And the number 1 play, we go back to the gridiron as Nathan Horder picks off a pass off of the defender, running back Wade Sullivan, as he juggles that one and catches that on the sideline. That was a huge play, almost swung the momentum of the football game totally in the Huskies' favor. What a play, man, that was quite the interception.
Too bad it couldn't have quite shifted completely.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get a lot of that and more out of the Huskies this later in the season.
Yeah, and Saturday would be a good start.
Yeah.
On the road.
Thank you for tuning in to Husky Mag. We will see you back next week.
You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
A little bit with some snow, turning over to rain as we go through the day tomorrow.
Currently, it's 44 degrees. The rain did start to come down again. We had a short break there.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite